Wilkes Heritage Museum, and everyone who had a part in this great program tonight. I think we've had a fun time. What do you think? It was worth the hour drive from Mount Airy just to see Eric Ellis and Mark Pruitt stand side by side picking the banjo. And I did grow up with WPAQ. My aunt, Lucy Bowman, used to work there. She was the bookkeeper, and she took a lot of pride in pointing out the table they used to change my diaper on. So anyway, I wanted to mention that my wife is here, and I'm so grateful, Jennifer Epperson. She's co-owner, and I'm so happy to have her. You know that song, Pig in the Pen, the pretty little girl with the corn to feed it on? That's Jennifer, my wife. And also Jenny Lowry is here, the host and MC of the WPAQ merry-go-round at the Earl Theater on Saturdays. Well, let me take you back in time before WPAQ. Back in the 1930s, a young farm boy was listening to a windmill-powered radio from his home place in Ararat, Virginia. His name was Ralph. He was going to be a farmer, just like his father. But he used to listen every night to a president of a school out in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, John Brown University. And my dad always had a fascination for radio, and so he would pick up these distant stations at night on AM. And the president said, come on out here to Siloam Springs, Arkansas. We'll put you to work and you can earn your way to an education. So my dad decided that's what he wanted to do. He asked his parents, could he go? And they all got him some sewn together shoes and a real wool coat. It was the summertime to head out to Siloam Springs, Arkansas, but they fixed him up right. They took him down to the intersection of Highway 52 and Rockford Street in Mount Airy. He was going to hitchhike to Siloam Springs. It wasn't an easy time to get around back in the 30s. So they let him out there at the intersection. They waited on the first ride to come along, picked him up, and there he was on his way, a long way, halfway across the country. He got so that he got a lot of competition. A lot of people wanted rides back then, a lot of hitchhikers. So he had to develop some kind of way to get attention. So he learned how to do the ham bone. And he'd slap his hands over his leg like that. And a man came along and said, I don't know what kind of fool are you doing this? He said, I'm just looking for another fool to come along and give me a ride. He said, well, go ahead and get in, let's go. He got so he could beat the bus. He hitchhiked so well. I asked my dad one time, I said, you know, you've accomplished a whole lot. There have been a lot of television stations and movies and radio station commentaries and newspaper and magazine articles about WPAQ. You've won a lot of awards from the National Religious Broadcasters Association as Broadcaster of the Year one time and Legend of the NRB. You also were inducted into the Music Broadcasting Hall of Fame in North Carolina. That was a month before he fell in his driveway and never recovered from that fall. He passed away a month and a half later. Said, you were inducted into the Broadcast Music Hall of Fame, or the Broadcasters Hall of Fame in North Carolina. What was your favorite, what do you think your greatest accomplishment was? He said, I'd have to say it would be in the field of hitchhiking. When WPAQ was being built back in the mid-1940s, there was a preacher who wanted time on the radio station. And he got to following my dad around. My dad wanted to get this place built and get it on the air as fast as he could. So they went to the back of the radio station. Out back behind the building, they were erecting the tower, 300-foot tower. And there was a crew up on the tower working their way up. There was a crew on the ground. And those guys were exchanging profanity in a big way, back and forth, trying to build that tower. Well, there was that preacher. He wanted airtime on WPAQ and kept hounding my dad. I want to get on your radio station. What's it going to cost me? When can I be on? Well, my dad kept wanting to get this place built. And all this time, these erectors, tower erectors were exchanging curse words back and forth, back and forth. He said, "I tell you what, Ralph, if you ever do get this place off the ground and running and airing, it's going to take about a 6 months revival to get things right around here." Well, the rest is history. And WPAQ is still at it, doing the same thing essentially that it did in 1948, 76 years later. It's all because of Ralph Epperson. I try to fill his shoes every day. I don't come close, but I still try, and I want his dream to continue as he pledged to bring out the local musicians and give them a stage and a platform. He said, there are radio stations up and down the dial, 26 that maybe you can hear. Why would I want to be like them and be number 27 when I could put something different and unique on the airwaves? And it's the music of this heritage, this area, the roots. And Wilkes County is a big part of that. And thank you all so much. What an honor to be sharing this with my dad, who was inducted in the first class in 2008. And we're side by side now. And thank you so much. Wilkes Heritage Museum and committee and everyone involved, all the musicians and Cindy Malcolm, everyone. I could still tell you stories all night long, but I see my wife back there motioning me. She said, "We're well overdressed." When we walked in here, I said, "That's okay, we'll sit in the back." So thank you all so very much. I hope you have a great home, way home, a safe home route. I can't get my words out here. I'm in radio, for goodness sake. Well, you know what I mean. But thank you again, and God bless you all.